Hello and welcome back to my channel. I put out a poll over the weekend to ask you guys if you were interested in my opinions about the Leaked Labs launch. The majority of you voted that yes, you do want to hear my opinions about the Leaked Labs. Some of you said no, some of you said you were indifferent, so please, if this isn't your preferred style of video, totally fine. I don't do this very often, but I just have so many opinions about this that I just have to share them. A couple disclaimers before I start. This is not, it's going to come off as bashing, but in the way that some people in the comments, they're just like going in just to go in and they don't really explain themselves and why they have these opinions. I'm explaining myself. I'm giving you full reason for why I feel the way I feel about this makeup launch. And I think it goes without saying that this is an opinion video. Opinion. It's not anything other than an opinion. It is my opinion. We all have opinions. We are all entitled to our opinions. Just be aware that this is an opinion video. In case you were unaware, social media duo the Lipstick Lesbians launched their second makeup company, Leaked Labs. Yes. While researching for this video, it surprised me as well that this is actually their second makeup brand. Their first makeup brand, which was lipsticks, was Fempower Beauty, or just Fempower, one or the other. It is no longer around. It was not successful, which is fine. Happens all the time. I just want to put that in this video that this is not their first rodeo, okay? This is not a we've never been in business before type of beauty launch like some other influencer brands. In 2022, they posted a lot of the like boss babe kind of content of two business owners against the world kind of theming of like that was their pillar of their content. And at some point in 2022 they changed up their shtick. I'm sure I'll put it here for when exactly that switch up was, but they basically changed the shtick to be Christina looking at a beauty product, and then Alexis, who is filming behind the camera, asks very simple questions, almost like an audience member, instead of what would you say to people about the component? She would be like, oh, baby, like, why is it in that shape? Can you explain the shape? And then it kind of felt like when Christina would answer, she was answering an audience question instead of her wife. And that was basically the shtick that stuck. And that is what made them go super duper viral. And then they really focused on this like playing it dumb kind of questions about beauty and Christina answering the very simple things. And then once they started to gain all that popularity is when they started to add in stuff about more of the product developer side of the cost of items, the cost of production, the cost of things, the more numerical side of makeup. But they hit that algorithm change in 2022. So they've been doing this for 4 years. So 4 years later, they started their own makeup brand. I'm unsure of when they closed Fempower. I'm unsure of when they started development for Leaked Labs. So I'm going to give them a huge assumption. This is an assumption. This is not fact. I'm assuming they closed Fempower within the year of going viral. So it closed, let's say, summer 2023. They clearly hit the algorithm in there and they felt the appreciation for this scientific approach to being an influencer. And I'm going to say that they started to tinker with the idea of a new beauty brand in 2024. They started to nail everything down in late 2024. They developed their product line 2025. It was released early 2026. That's the timeline that I'm assuming. This is very scary to admit. The reason I am assuming these things is because I do not follow the Lipstick Lesbians. I have not followed the Lipstick Lesbians for pretty much since 2023, I think. I actually had them blocked on TikTok. I do remember I tried to not block them, but the algorithm kind of gives you no choice to a degree. A lot of you probably don't have TikTok because I post my shorts here for people who don't have it. But on TikTok, you can actually press and hold down on the screen and it can give a little like broken heart emoji. And if you press it, it just means you're not interested. And it's a way to adjust your algorithm to stop showing you things. There was like a running joke a few years ago on TikTok that the not interested button almost did the opposite. And it made the algorithm feed you that specific person's content even more. So there was a point where I was getting the Lipstick Lesbians videos every other video, and it was driving me insane, and I was trying to not block them, but I ended up having to block them. I only recently unblocked them because my cyclopentasiloxane video got really popular on TikTok. So they started to tag them, so I had to unblock them in case they wanted to talk about it. So that's why they're unblocked for me now, is because people were tagging them and I wanted them to be able to see the video that their fans wanted them to speak on. But they're now unblocked. My algorithm has been okay, but I swear if I get fed a Lipstick Lesbian video every other video again, they're getting blocked again. I'm protecting my algorithm. Oh, and I do want to say, I know that I'm probably blocked by people. I understand that. The block button specifically on TikTok really helps your algorithm. So if you don't like someone, go to their profile and just block them. I'm sure I'm blocked by at least 3 people out there. It's not possible. Someone has to have blocked me for the same reason of just being annoying. And I'm okay with that. Everyone has bias. Some people have bias and they know they do. Some people have bias and they don't know they do, and they claim that they don't have bias. And that's kind of what started to happen with the Lipstick Lesbians during that point where I really started to not enjoy their content, when not being biased is at the ethos of your profile or brand or newspaper publishing, and then you start to show bias repeatedly, that becomes a problem. So let's get into the actual Leaked Labs opinion. Again, I just want to reiterate, I'm allowed to have opinions, you're allowed to have opinions, we're allowed to never see eye to eye on those opinions. Christina and Alexis have been popular on TikTok for far too long for this to be a mistake. An honest mistake. It's not you've been popular for way too long for you to not know exactly what you're doing, either with the PR backfiring or with the initial launch. Speaking of initial launch, that is my other major issue with this Leaked Labs, is the fact that their entire basis of being the Lipstick Lesbians and educating people and telling people what to buy and what not to buy, and people taking their word as God. This is the product that they come out with. They talk a big game about colors and formula and texture and all that, and price per gram. And this is the product they decided to come out with in 2026. Really sit and think about that. In 2026, we're coming out with sickeningly small eyeshadows that are basically samples, a price for a full-size product. Okay, just sit and stew with that opinion. The next opinion that I have is this launch didn't solve anything. They're always talking about wanting brands to be innovative, do something. What does this do? Who is it for? How do we fix a problem? This does none of that. So all of those things that they have taught their audience to consider when making beauty purchases, and then the audience uses those same teachings against their teacher, and it doesn't make sense to buy the teacher's product because of what the teacher has taught them, it doesn't solve anything. And I think in one of the attempted responses to fix this PR backlash, Christina said that the reason they came out with this formula is because when you add a spray to a traditional eyeshadow, it gets weird and flaky and thick and gunky, and it just doesn't sit right. I love glitter eyeshadow. I use it all the time. I use shimmers. I know what that texture is that Christina was trying to talk about, and that hasn't happened in modern formulations. That hasn't happened in modern formulations of eyeshadow since like 2019. The way that she's describing this very specific eyeshadow texture hasn't been a thing in eyeshadow for years at this point. And you may be thinking like, oh, on your eyes today, isn't it the Leaked Labs? No, because Makeup by Mario did this concept first. I did take a gander at Sephora Canada, and I don't know why this palette is no longer available at Sephora Canada, but it is available on the Makeup by Mario website. This is the Makeup by Mario Master Metals palette. I love this palette. It's one of my favorite silvers. You can see it's dug into. All you do is you scratch some product into the provided palette that is removable, so you can go clean it and sanitize it and put it back in, and then you take your setting spray, your Fix Plus, your Mayron, whatever you want to use, and you mix it together and it becomes a liquid eyeshadow. This palette has been out, I think, since 2019. Like I said, Makeup by Mario did it first and did it better because every makeup artist has one of these. So you don't need to go out and buy it. Hello, Editing Claire here. I just had a violent memory about this Makeup by Mario palette, and it's that I remember there being backlash when Makeup by Mario released this because everyone was like, well, why wouldn't I just use my Mayron loose pigment or another eyeshadow, stuff like that, because when I mean Makeup by Mario did it first, I mean in the sense that it is 5 pigments that you can mix and match or use individually to get that liquid effect on the eye. Previously in the makeup industry that I'm aware of, again, I didn't start wearing makeup until 2015. Previously, to my knowledge, it was always like individual shadows to get like this metallic effect, or you would have to use like a single shadow from one palette to do the mixing with like the Mayron on like your little dish or something. Makeup by Mario was the first time that like all 5 pigments are in this with a little mixing palette on the inside that is cleanable and can be sanitized. That's what I mean by like Makeup by Mario did it first. It's like, to my knowledge, this was the first time like a true all-in-one with a palette with like use your own mixing medium had been sold to consumers. I didn't do a good job explaining what I meant by that. If you don't have one, you just use the back of a clean makeup brush, or you clean off the back of a makeup brush and you use that to scratch your product in. Everyone has a spray that they can use, and you just spread it on the eye. Like, I know I have some transfer, but that's for the eyeliner, not really the eyeshadow's fault. That's my fault. But like, you know what I mean? Where she's trying to say that they invented this perfect way of applying a glitter eyeshadow that no one has done before. And this has been around for years, having solved that problem with metallic eyeshadow. And it's more pigmented than the Leaked Labs version. And the shimmer is better than the Leaked Labs version. I didn't add anything on top of this. This is just the Makeup by Mario. The other thing that I wanted to talk about with this product, Christina kept saying in her videos that the carrageenan in the Flexi Powder, that's what this product is called, Flexi Powder. The carrageenan is the hero ingredient that will keep it looking like a sleek, like singular sheet of gorgeousness on the eye. You know what else has carrageen in it, in the ingredients? The Makeup by Mario eyeshadows. Here is a comparison of the ingredient lists. Now keep in mind that this is a puck eyeshadow and the Leaked Labs product is still this like jelly textured product. I'm not a cosmetic chemist, so I can't tell you the specific ingredients and what they do, but I do have highlighted the ingredients that are the same in both eyeshadows. And again, this palette, let me make sure I'm right. Makeup by Mario, Master Metals, release date, 2020. So this eyeshadow palette has been around since 2020. Leaked Labs just came out with theirs in 2026. Even holding this to camera, you can see the product, like here it is, dry. On my hand, not even sprayed. Like, the mind boggles. True, this launch and the way that they have gone after people criticizing them for the fact that this is not anything new in the makeup world. This product is 6 years old. This concept of like metallics isn't anything new by any stretch of the imagination. The jelly concept is not anything new by any stretch of the imagination. And there has been creators out there who have come out and said like, hey guys, this isn't anything new by any stretch of the imagination. And the other, oh my God, the product photography. So on my hand, I just washed it all off, but on my hand, I'll put in a freeze frame photo screen grab of it. That's in my studio lights. That's not even like in a professional lighting setup. This is amateur lighting that I have pulled my hair out trying to figure out in my home. And this is the product photo that Leaked Labs decided to put out and went, yeah, that looks good. A quick hand swatch in a at-home photo studio versus a professionally set up studio, photographer, editor. Maybe they just used the raw photos because they wanted it to not be edited. I don't know how that investors, whoever, maybe they're fully solo and no one is involved in this brand. I genuinely don't know who would have signed off on that product photography being a-okay. That product photography is not okay. It's not okay, which means the product is not good at transferring pigment or shimmer. That's a lot of like my opinion. Before I continue, I have my script here. Before I continue with my script, I'm going to insert this section where a lot of way more experienced people share their opinions. Let's cut over to that.
Consumers, are you getting got? In this case, yes. Britt Clark made a fantastic video. In fact, she has an entire series on this. She weighed out each individual disc, and then she stacked each four of Leaked Labs Flexi Powder on a scale. In total, you're getting 2.7 grams of product. The thing that didn't sit right with me was that each individual disc had a different weight and a different size. That is not how reliable manufacturing happens. Secondly, consumers are being told that this is a new, innovative product that they've never seen before. Well, that's not 100% true, as I covered previously. This exact same formulation concept has already been refined and brought to market in much better packaging. Now, the packaging that SheGlam's chosen is tubes, and for good reason. 1, sanitation, 2, ease of use for the consumer. Now, I'm in Canada, so this is a Canadian price. Each one of these jelly eyeshadow sticks is being sold on Shein's website for $6.50 Canadian. You are getting 3 grams of product in each tube. Now, the difference between the sticks and the discs is that the stick, you can use the entire amount of the product. Those discs, I think it's going to get really tricky for people as that disc, it's already really thin. As it gets thinner and thinner, you're going to end up with holes in that product. It's going to be extremely difficult to apply. So the chances of you being able to use the entire thing are not as high as they are when you're purchasing this in a sanitary stick. Now, if you head over to Leaked Labs website, you're going to see in the bottom left-hand corner that they are charging $34 US plus shipping, I've been told, for less product stacked in one tin, which is both unhygienic hygienic and not the easiest way to use the product. Now, by all means, it's your money, it's your face. You put whatever you want on your face, you spend your money however you see fit. I just want to help people make more informed purchases and see where they're spending money that they might not have to, because they might have something that they already have at home that, one, functions better, and two, didn't cost as much. Now, I'm not hating on them in general. A lot of their content is great, and I really hope they do well with Leap Labs. I just don't think that this particular launch was a completely transparent one, and I don't think people should be overcharged for testing products. That cost is supposed to be absorbed by the brand, not the consumer. Now, if you like gimmicky cool things, and this is a purchase that you wanted to make, by all means, make it. And I truly hope they succeed. I don't want to see any indie brand fail. I really don't. I love indie brands. I'm a huge advocate for them. I mostly formulate for indie brands for a reason. That's by choice. That's by my own ethics. But what I don't like seeing is marketing being done in kind of an honest way, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't like seeing people that are looking for something new and exciting get got when they could have gone on another website, purchased something for $5 or $6 that's going to perform better, that's already been refined, that is far more sanitary. That just doesn't sit right with me.
And that was my whole point about the video. It just lost so much money because you created a product that cannot be properly sanitized by makeup artists. A lot of people are calling it a gimmick, and you know what? I get it. Because now that I have played with it enough and I see that it performs best when it has a hydration component to it, whether it's setting spray or water, it's giving dehydrated water, just add water. And I'm not trying to be mean about it. I love new things. I've supported Christina and Alexis for a very long time. I'm a very big fan of their work. The thing is, why sell a product that isn't performing at its best on its own at all? Because when I swatched it, it was very patchy. Why sell that product when we are literally in the age of jelly sticks and we can build up the intensity and it's already in a hydration component? You're selling something that is falling short of what is performing really well on the market right now.
So real quick, I want to give my 2 cents on Leaked Labs as a beauty founder who has been running a beauty brand for the last almost decade. And this is not in any way to shade the brand. I just want to sort of clue you into sort of what I think is going on here. So first of all, let me just say this. Labs send me innovation like this all the time. All the time. I have boxes filled with quote unquote innovative products that I've never launched, that I've never even thought about launching, because every time I reach out to a lab for something and say like, oh, let me see samples of this sort of thing, I'm interested in, maybe doing that, but doing it like this, they take that as an opportunity to send me everything they've ever worked on in life. So I've seen Flexi Powders, I've seen the things I've seen, okay? Here's the thing. I think labs tend to define innovation differently than I tend to define innovation as a product developer. And some of that is just based on my demographic. I'm hyper-focused on women of color with my brand Minted Cosmetics, and so I'm thinking about how do I make products that work for this demographic. Labs tend to think about innovation from the perspective of what can I make that has never been made? What 2 ingredients can I mix together that have never been mixed together? And that's important. That does help push the industry forward. I'm not knocking that type of innovation. The thing is, new for new's sake, different for difference sake is not the way consumers typically think about their makeup bag. In my experience, consumers are thinking about innovation from the perspective of what's the problem I have and is this product going to solve it better? Is the fact that you've mixed these 2 ingredients going to make it safer for my skin, more effective for my skin, more pigmented for my skin? What's the gap, and is this product filling it? And so that's the lens I take to innovation, and why I don't really like doing product development from the perspective of a manufacturer. I only one time in my career as a beauty founder, I run Minted Cosmetics, by the way, if you didn't know that, and founded it about a decade ago. I run product development from the lens of what does my customer need that she doesn't have, or what does she have that I think we can do differently or we can do better for her. I don't run it from the perspective of, oh, what's all the innovation that the labs are showing me this year? And of those things, which thing might she be interested in? Well, only one time in my career have I done that, and that product flopped so hard. And it was not a bad product. It just was done the wrong way. I was shown something from one of our labs that I thought was really cool, and so I launched it, and I cannot even tell you how bad it flopped, okay? It was bad. And that's when I internalized, we were maybe like 2 years in at that point. That's when I internalized, okay, I'm never going to do that again. And so the whole impetus behind this brand is we're going to bring you the new innovations that other brands are too quote unquote scared to bring you. The thing is, like I said, I've seen variations of this before. It's not about being scared to launch it. It's about knowing my customer and knowing this doesn't solve a problem for her. So why would I launch it? And I think that's what you're seeing a lot of people react to. A lot of people are seeing this and saying, yeah, it's different, but it looks like it would be harder to use. The pigmentation once applied doesn't actually look more pigmented than the shimmers that I've already got in my palettes. So like, it's not better. It's just different. And just different, while that is innovation, it is not the type of innovation that I think a lot of customers are looking for. That's at least my experience as a developer, but I would love to know what y'all think.
Initially, when they first launched the concept of this brand, they said that they want to take feedback so that they can change the product. There is no statement on the product website or in the FAQ information section that says that will be reimbursed to you if it's a formula that doesn't survive initial launch and will be updated and changed and repackaged and whatever else. They did state that they would change the product based on reviews, which means that the consumer buys a bad product. And if the product does turn into a 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 1.5 even, you don't get reimbursed for the money that you spent on a product that failed, okay? So I don't like that. The one thing I want to make painfully clear in this video is I don't mind the concept of releasing a product and then changing it based on how people review it or how it goes viral, stuff like that. The problem is with the Lipstick Lesbians and this brand Leaked Labs, they have said the quiet part about the beauty industry out loud. In their initial teasing and releasing of this brand, they did say that they want to pull back the curtain, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's where they messed up. I think the messing up was actually in the fact that they said the quiet part out loud. Brands have been coming out and releasing limited edition products for would say the better part of like 9 years now. Beauty really took off in 2016. 2017 was really the year that brands started to do this like limited edition, holiday only type of makeup to really get that FOMO purchasing power. And I think that's the problem. I think I think Leaked Labs saying and reverbalizing that limited edition effect into different words made a lot of people upset. I don't own any, but Makeup by Mario, again, is a great example of saying the quiet part quietly, like the Ethereal Eyes eyeshadow palettes. The first one was Beloved. They then came out with a second and third iteration, slightly tweaking the formulas to try to find a perfect middle ground. Like the shimmers were better in the second one, but then the mattes were worse. And then the shimmers were worse in the third one, but the mattes were better. That's all the behind the scenes work that product developers do that consumers aren't supposed to really be clued in on, is the fact that product developers, employees do watch these reviews and they do see the complaints. They take it to head office, their manager, and then they change it. But they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that they did. At most, in like a Natasha Denona way, they'll say that they've reformulated and now they're better, right? But for the most part, brands just let it slide, and then when the consumer purchases it, they go, oh my God, these are so much better. Oh my God, these are so much worse. So I think the problem was them, Christina and Alexis, actually saying that quiet part of like the behind the scenes workings of the beauty industry out loud, and a lot of people didn't appreciate it because it wasn't a necessary reveal. God, I really hope that that made sense. I really do. Oh no, my battery. I think it was pretty obvious that this launch was based for consumers and not artists. What I mean by that is there's artists that are like, this is not sanitary. You aren't allowed to use isopropyl alcohol on these, so how can you clean it? Because isopropyl is the only effective disinfectant when it comes to makeup. So this is a product that is only for half of the beauty industry, and you can't make excessive profit if you alienate one half of the beauty space. And I do judge them because they did this FOMO style release to the consumer. And I don't like that. I don't like that they completely alienate this makeup artist side of the beauty industry, which is how trends famously have gotten started, is from makeup artists. Like right now is Nina Park, this Korean makeup artist who is doing everyone's makeup and everyone is obsessed with her makeup artistry. She's a makeup artist and trends move with makeup artists. But makeup artists won't use this product because it sucks in the sense of how makeup artists need to use product. It doesn't fit the bill. I can't imagine a makeup artist pulling out this disc of product, struggling with it and like touching it all over with their hands on a palette and it moving everywhere, and taking a brush and trying to apply it on Beyonce. Could you imagine trying to like rub this product onto Beyonce's eyelid? No, it's not for makeup artists. I don't know. It's just so strange to me. It's a strange concept. I need to take a break. I need to make more tea, and my camera needs to cool down because it's overheating, and so am I. Who knew an opinion video is so much work? One of the claims that the Lipstick Lesbians came out with is the fact that this Flexi Seal
Flex Seal liquid, brush, roll, dip, or pour.
Flex Seal.
It even works underwater.
One of the claims that this Flexi Powder came out with is that it's like travel friendly for people who travel, but if you watch a makeup artist, they use Vuezette cases since like forever. Every artist I've ever seen has used a Vuezette case to some degree to carry around either like eyeshadow sticks, lipsticks, cream eye, like it's, the mind truly boggles at how much this product isn't necessary. It's to a point where like making this video feels in a way redundant, because to me it feels like we're all seeing this, right? Like we all don't we all see through this and like how many problems there are and how many, if this was a movie, how many plot holes are throughout this movie that it just doesn't make sense to do this at all in any way. More of a hot, what do people call it? Not a hot topic. Whatever, I can't think of what the hell it is. I don't like the fact that they are trying to bottle up and sell this concept of from the lab for you to experiment with, pretty much, is how they are selling this leaked labs. And it almost in a way preys on the fact that it is supposed to make the follower slash consumer buy into this experience of being a scientist. And maybe some of those people who are buying into this product want to be a scientist in real life or a product developer in real life, and they just have too many hurdles in order to achieve that outcome, like money, education, and they will never be that scientist, but they want to buy the $34 product in order to feel like a scientist. You know, like I really have a problem with how they are selling this from the lab concept, because at least with Pat McGrath Labs, the initial launch of it was the fact that it's from the lab. It was supposed to be very gorgeous makeup in very basic packaging because it was about the formulas. And it was successful in that way because back in the day, they didn't exist. But these products have existed for years now, and it's like not a necessary, I don't know, it's crazy. And like they repeat this like scientific, feel like a scientist language on the website. So I'm not even reaching too far here because it is throughout their pages with this very particular style of language. And I really don't like it. And it feels like they're selling a lab coat, but like the Fisher Price version, because you won't ever actually have a lab coat because you're not a scientist, but they're selling you the feeling of being a scientist. You know, like that's icky to me. It's not an unknown concept to sell a vibe when it comes to a beauty brand. Charlotte Tilbury, for example, sells the vibe of old Hollywood glam. That's the vibe of Charlotte Tilbury. And every time, if you're lucky enough to be able to do a full face of Charlotte Tilbury, you feel like Marilyn Monroe. But that is a more achievable thing to sell someone. Like, don't you want to feel like Marilyn Monroe? Here you go. Instead of, do you want to be a scientist? Joke's on you, you're not a scientist, but I'm gonna take all of your thoughts and opinions. Like, it's just so icky to me. And I'm having a hard time putting it into words for you guys, but I hope that also makes sense on that tangent. Sorry, my battery is about to die on my thing. It's been a long filming day. Everything is out of battery. The other part about this leaked labs nonsense, I can guarantee you the only reason this product sold out is because people hated it. Sorry, language. It only sold out because it went viral in a bad way and creators purchased the product to attempt to get their 5 minutes of fame. And I don't like that. I don't partake in that. I think it is tacky to do that with your content. Like to buy a product just to on it even more. Like creators have to stop doing that. Influencers have to stop doing that because hate purchasing a product just for maybe a viral video is like sellout behavior, and I really don't like that. But because the product sold out, that tells Leaked Labs that maybe they should make the product permanent. Selling out is this gold standard in anything to do with sales. Selling out a product means the world to a brand. So the fact that this sold out means that it was a success. No matter what has happened on social media, what the attention has been, the Leaked Labs launch of the Flexi Powder has been a success because it sold out. And I just really need other creators maybe watching this to really think about what they are doing when they sell out products like this. All of those thoughts and opinions bubbled up for me about the launch of this product. And then came the State of the Union address. There was so much backlash about this State of the Union address. I'm going to just play a little snippet for you.
The internet has spoken.
This is the first Leaked Labs State of the Union.
Why am I paying to have a product that's unfinished for me to test and give you feedback?
You're not paying for an unfinished good.
And you're not paying to do the work for us.
You're paying to participate in beauty's largest public focus group that's being documented.
There was a lot of backlash about this follow-up video. A lot of people were really upset about the price point. I think the price point was a bit of a reach, in my opinion. Like, there were so many other reasons to not like this product other than the price point, that reaching for the price point is like the last thing we need to talk about when it comes to this Flexi Powder. If this is your first video of mine, or maybe you have forgotten, yes, my voice sounds like this, but I am not American. I am Canadian. And the Lipstick Lesbians literally using the words State of the Union is tacky. It is distasteful, considering what has happened in the past week alone due to the United States of America. I am shocked and a little horrified that they thought using the words State of the Union was a positive thing to do. I'm just going to read, it'll be on the screen, the quick definition for State of the Union address. The State of the Union address, sometimes abbreviated to the SOTU, is an annual message delivered by the President of the United States to a joint session of the United States Congress near the beginning of most calendar years on the current condition of the nation. So to say you're doing a State of the Union address in the current administration of the United States and the current global climate caused by the United States, anything would have been better to come out of their mouths. They could have said press conference, they could have said meeting, they could have said answering your concerns. Keep it simple. Literally anything would have been fine. You did not have to do that. No one really points it out except for people who are not from the USA. And I have a lot of USA subscribers, and I really need you guys to understand that the Lipstick Lesbians faking and using the words State of the Union address, it does come off in the way that you think it does. And everyone who is from Canada, who is from the UK, who is from Australia, shares this same opinion that I do, that it is unbelievable that that is what they used. As a PR crisis moment, we pretended like we were the President of the United States. Why would you do that? The one thing I will say about this PR crisis video, because that's what this video is, it is a PR crisis. This was posted, I think, 3 days after everything really started to snowball in the negative for them. I didn't find it condescending like everyone else did apparently in the comments section. Everyone found it condescending and needlessly aggressive, I think is the other kind of comment that I was seeing. I didn't think it was. Again, I found it tacky and distasteful, because why are we pretending to be the President of the United States? That's stupid to do right now. I found it more like floundering. It was more like floundering for me, where it was done in a panic. They put on the same colored makeup as the initial launch. They found a podium. They did the same kind of blunt, harsh lighting. They put on the same clothes that they wore in the initial launch. This wasn't filmed in the same day. Like they purposely matched their initial shoot day. So they did it on purpose, and it's just like, it was just a floundering attempt to cover all their bases, and it very much backfired. People weren't happy about it. Again, I didn't find it too condescending. I just found it like we're panicking and we need to answer all these questions as fast as possible, and maybe we're not thinking it through and we edit it all together and then we post it. You know, like that's how it came across to me. It wasn't so much like like people were saying. It was more like, we have to like get this out now so that we can save our asses. That's how it was, in my opinion. So the one thing in the PR crisis follow-up video is what I will call it, tried to re-explain the concept of leaked labs.
When manufacturers present products to brands and then brands take it and develop them further, these products are finished. It's just brands take it a step further with longer lead times to make it tailored to them. What we're doing is we're expediting that cycle and giving you the finished good that's presented by the manufacturer to your hand.
And I think they dug a bigger grave. To clear the air on the leaked labs concept, they basically said, we want to sell you this product. We want to sell you this product in like the cheapest, pretend there's no mirror, in like the cheapest package as possible so that you can try this innovative product, okay? You can now try that innovative product. Once you try that product and you post, you comment, whatever, they don't even send out like an email being like, what did you like of the product, right? As like a Google form or something to actually give proper feedback like other brands do. You make a video, you post it. You say, I would like it to have a mirror. Leaked Labs will basically take this product now and go over here. What is this, Bobbi Brown? Is that L'Oreal? I might be wrong. They basically go to L'Oreal and they say, we made this thing. People really liked it. They would like it to have a mirror. Do you want to buy this from our lab and produce it? What brand would you like it to be with? And then L'Oreal goes, we really like this product. Maybe we should actually produce this and do what Leaked Labs is telling us to do. We will make this product. Bobbi Brown is the brand that this product best aligns with. We'll take 2,000. Then this product that you tested initially cost $35, the same as the Flexi Powder, now goes over to Bobbi Brown, and Bobbi Brown puts all of its little doodads on it, and this is now $70. All of that process that I just kind of visualized for you already has been happening in makeup since the inception of independent laboratories, and clearing the air on that in this PR crisis video cleared some clouds for me and basically made me go, oh, so the point of Leaked Labs is to commodify an invisible process that has been happening for many decades. This invisible changing of the hands and markup price has been happening for forever, but they now went, well, what if we sell it first to just like triple check that it's actually good so that we can take it to L'Oreal Group and be like, we got $50,000 for this product. Would you like to get $50,000? Actually, no. Would you like to get $100,000 for this product because they're going to mark up the price? Just when you say it out loud and you put the pieces of the puzzle together, I really don't like it. They basically re-clarified that the packaging is meant to be cheap and inexpensive because you're just paying for the product, which is like fine and well and good, but having bad packaging that doesn't make sense, is something that people shop around. Like, I'm one of those people where if the packaging is bad, I literally won't buy the product. Like, there are so many brands out there that I won't even think about purchasing because I hate the packaging, either the color, the texture, the feasibility of like dealing with it every day. I think more people who use beauty products who operate around packaging than people who don't care about packaging. And Leaked Labs seems like they're going in the direction of they don't really care about the packaging. They're not putting the care into the packaging. And there's going to be a lot of people on this side that will never buy from the brand because of the packaging. Again, in the grand scheme of everything wrong that happened with this launch and with this outcome, that's like such a moot point at this time. It could change in the future. They could come out with some really fun and cool packaging, and that could also be part of their product development, is working with plastic factories to get different injection molds and stuff like that. Like, I can see that happening, but I think right now they're just really focused on formulas being original and different and never been done before, which they're not. They've been done before, just remarketed in a different way. But okay, I've been talking for a very long time. This is a long opinion video to sit through. I hope you were cooking or cleaning or doing something productive, because this was a lot of talking. Because this is ongoing literally as I speak. It is Monday, March 16th. As I'm speaking right now, this is still ongoing. We're still in a PR crisis for Leaked Labs. So I don't really have a conclusion to this video. There's no way for me to wrap up this video in a neat, tight little bow, because it is an ongoing problem. If you are on any kind of short form consuming app, if you just look up Leaked Labs Flexi Powder, the algorithm will start feeding you. There are people out there who are weighing the product between uses. There's people out there showing that their nails easily puncture the product. It flakes, it falls apart because it's just a flat little disc with nothing to really keep it sturdy. Genuinely, this Flexi Powder, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of people's time. It's a waste of people's money. It's a waste of resources, of metal, of ingredients, of shipping, of tape, like everything. It's a waste because this product is a wash. This product is a wash. If anything happens in the coming days to like sway my opinion one way or the other, I will chop it in, edit it into this video. I think I can safely say that I will never buy Leaked Labs. Number one, they don't ship to Canada, so I'm pretty safe on that front. I have no US forwarding address, so I won't ever be purchasing from Leaked Labs, because mostly I'm just uninterested in the concept now that it's been cleared up, and the way that this has been handled by the Lipstick Lesbians and Leaked Labs team, I find it like even more uninteresting, truly. Some of my opinions maybe helped clear the air for you and any struggles that you have had with like figuring out this brand and product. I hope I have helped clear the air and make it a little bit more HD for you. I don't do these long-winded opinion videos very often. I keep my opinions short and sweet, and for the most part only ever in my new makeup releases videos. So if you want to see some more opinions like this that are much shorter and condensed, go to my new makeup releases playlist and you can find plenty of opinions over there. If you liked this video, give it a like. I won't know that you liked this video if you don't do that, so it does help. If you liked me, you should consider subscribing. That way I can pop up in your feed more often. I also have TikTok and Instagram. Both are Claire Cuckoo as well. Everything on my face is in the description box down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!